Hello again. This is Philip Ham. I'm the inventor of the Goldwing Center Stand Helping Hand. I'd like to go over the installation procedure for the bracket that attaches to the bike. First of all, I have my bike propped up in an upright position. Chances are you'll be working on yours leaning on the side stand. So bear in mind that these angles will be slightly different, but the instructions still apply no matter which way you do it. First of all, this is designed to work on a stock bike with the standard passenger foot pad. If you have different boards or different pegs, that may be a problem. Underneath the bike, back up under here, is a rubber pad onto which the arm rests. That has to be in place and it has to be in good condition to keep the arm away from the muffler heat shield here. You've got to have clearance. I can run my finger around. I'm a little bit larger to the rear, a little bit tighter at the front, but you must have that proper clearance. Installation requires one tool, a 5mm wrench. I use the T-handle type. Either type will work. When this comes to you, it will have the two halves of the bracket together. Remove the 3 bolts, leaving the 2 bolts in place, and hold them with your finger and assure that you have clearance over that bolt head so that you can rotate that around the heat shield without any contact. It must not make any contact there. The front, of course, doesn't really come that close to the heat shield, but there should be no contact there. The washers that come with this are a particular thickness. It's a standard 6mm washer. You cannot use a thinner lock washer. That is a blind hole, and that screw will bottom out if you use a different washer. So use the washers that I sent with it. Later on I'll discuss Loctite if you're concerned about that. When you're installing it and working on the bolts, if you just depress the pad slightly, you have better clearance back here. The start position will give you a good beginning point for the proper arm placement. The 2 parts go together. The 2 holes are on the top. They surround that and are tightened. The split line between these 2 halves should be a vertical line. You'll just have to kind of guesstimate the 12 o'clock position. But that split line wants to be just about vertical. That will give you a starting position. You may have to adjust if your bike sits differently. You'll notice the leading edge of the foot pad is not parallel to the bottom of the T-slot. That is the way that it will sit. It's an odd angle, but because of the various angles involved here, that is a good starting position. Maintaining the vertical split line, these will not be parallel. When it's in that position though, the arm will be almost vertical and the pad will be almost horizontal. If you find after the first lift you need to make adjustments to that, keep in mind that very small rotation of this bracket will produce pronounced movement at the end of the arm. So it's a very fine adjustment. When it's completely finished, again, you will have to tighten all 5 bolts multiple times. Tightening one loosens those adjacent to it. So with it down, just make sure that they're all equally tight. Once the position is established and you're happy with it, you can then go back and remove 1 bolt at a time, apply thread locker to it, and tighten it very securely. If there are any questions or any problems, the instructions that come with the arm have my phone number and my email address. Give me a call or email me to work out any difficulties. Thank you.